For nearly 3 decades, Will Smith was a human monolith of American ambition and success. He wasn't just a movie star, he was a walking, talking masterclass in branding.
Do you look at her sometimes you're like, this is better than ever?
No, I look at her, I'm like, you know what, babe? You doing the daggone thing to him.
He was the Fresh Prince who made a smooth transition from hip-hop to Hollywood, the action hero who saved the world in blockbusters, the devoted father, the half of a power couple that seemed to have it all. He was the guy next door who became a global icon, a legend who built his career on being universally loved, inoffensive, and perfect. He was a flawless, polished surface.
Confident man, and you raise your kids with confidence. Are you scared of anything? What is your fear?
Like mice.
But what happens when that surface cracks? When the world discovers the pain and humiliation that have been festering just beneath the veneer? This is the story of how the king of Hollywood's carefully constructed empire began to crumble. Not with a sudden bang, but with a series of public betrayals that culminated in the slap heard around the world.
It was a lot of things. It was the little boy that watched his father beat up his mother.
This is the painful downfall of Will Smith. Will Smith's rise was a narrative so flawless, it felt scripted. From his television debut in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he captivated audiences with his charismatic, goofy charm. He then parlayed that success into a stunning film career, starring in back-to-back hits like Bad Boys, Independence Day, and Men in Black. By the late 90s, he was arguably the biggest star in the world. He had a reputation for choosing roles with a meticulous eye, and his films were known for being family-friendly and universally appealing. He was one of the few actors who could guarantee a blockbuster opening weekend. But his empire wasn't built on his acting career alone. It was the Jada Pinkett Smith component that solidified the image of the perfect family man. Together, they cultivated a public persona of a powerful, aspirational couple. They spoke openly about their unconventional marriage, which they described as a spiritual partnership built on mutual respect and freedom. To the outside world, their love story seemed like a modern fairy tale, a perfect blend of power, success, and enlightenment. They were the couple that had transcended the ordinary confines of marriage and found a higher plane of existence. Their home life was a brand, a fortress of positive energy and Hollywood perfection. But as the world would soon discover, that fortress was a house of cards. The first visible crack appeared in 2020. Jada Pinkett Smith, on her talk show, Red Table Talk, invited her husband to a very public conversation about the state of their marriage. The subject, rumors of an affair she had with singer August Alsina. Jada, with Will sitting opposite her, confirmed she had a relationship with Alsina, which she referred to as an entanglement. The world watched in stunned silence as a private marital crisis was aired for millions to see. The episode was a bombshell, but it was a resurfaced clip from a 2019 Instagram live video that truly exposed the extent of Will's internal turmoil. In the short 49-second clip, a visibly agitated Will is begging his wife not to film him without his permission. "Don't just start filming me without asking me if you could film me," he says, his face a mask of discomfort and frustration. Jada, however, continues to prod him, asking if their relationship had been healed by a therapist who would be appearing on her show. Will's exasperation boils over in a raw, unguarded moment. I was done with you, he blurts out. Reddit users who commented on the clip before it went viral noted how uncomfortable, anxious, and broken he appeared. The video instantly reframed the entanglement narrative. It no longer seemed like an amicable, mature arrangement. Instead, it painted a picture of a man who was emotionally strained, embarrassed, and desperate for privacy in a life that was now public property. Another major component of this emotional distress came from Jada's history with the late rap legend Tupac Shakur. Jada had made it a point to keep the memory of her relationship with Tupac in the public conversation, an action that Will himself confessed caused him deep-seated jealousy. In an interview, Will confessed his regret for never being able to open up to interact with Tupac, admitting he felt like he was the soft rapper from Philly compared to the powerful and beloved Tupac. Jada had told him they were similar, but to Will, it was a painful comparison. This public admission of jealousy, combined with the entanglement in the resurfaced video, created a new, less flattering narrative. A man constantly struggling to measure up and maintain control in a relationship that had become an open book. The culmination of this long, slow erosion of his public image came on the biggest stage imaginable, the 94th Academy Awards on March 27, 2022. Will was at the pinnacle of his professional life, having been nominated for, and widely expected to win, the Best Actor Oscar for his performance in King Richard. The incident began when comedian Chris Rock, a presenter for the Best Documentary Feature Award, made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head, comparing her to Demi Moore in the film G.I. Jane. The joke was a painful jab at Jada's medical condition, alopecia. At first, Will laughed, but a cutaway shot showed Jada's distinct, annoyed eye roll. In a moment that remains one of the most shocking events in television history, Will Smith stood up, walked onto the stage, and slapped Chris Rock across the face. The global audience, assuming it was a planned skit, laughed. The laughter died in a heartbeat. The unedited, uncensored international footage, which would go on to garner more than 50 million views in a single day, captured the real, unscripted fury in Will's voice. As he walked back to his seat, a now startled Chris Rock made a comment about the joke being a G.I. Jane joke, and Smith from his seat began to scream, "Keep my wife's name out your f***ing mouth." He repeated the line, his voice rising, a clear and chilling break from the calm and collected public persona he had spent a lifetime building. The moment completely overshadowed the rest of the ceremony. For a star who had built his career on being an epitome of perfection, this act of public aggression was a self-inflicted wound that would prove impossible to heal. He would later resign from the Academy and be banned from all Academy-related events for a decade, a symbol of his sudden and spectacular fall from grace. In the months and years that followed, every move Will Smith made was viewed through the lens of a downfall. His public attempts at image rehabilitation were met with skepticism and at times open mockery. The most bizarre and telling of these attempts came during his European tour. In August, he posted an Instagram video that appeared to show him performing to a massive, adoring crowd. He captioned it with a message of gratitude to his fans. But it didn't take long for eagle-eyed fans to spot a horrifying digital gaffe. The crowd, it turned out, was entirely fake. Upon closer inspection, some of the attendees had feet for hands, while others had distorted faces and extra digits. A sign held by one fan read, "Love you, Fresh Prince," but with a 6 instead of an E. Even more damning, an actress named Heather Ashley Boyer commented that her face and body had been used without her consent, confirming the AI's use of real footage to create the fake crowd. The video was immediately mocked by fans and even by other artists. The band Green Day, in a direct jab at Smith, posted a video of their own real crowd with the caption, "Don't need AI for our crowds." In a desperate attempt to show he was in on the joke, Will Smith posted a follow-up video, this time performing to a crowd made entirely of AI-generated cats, a gesture that came off as more pathetic than humorous. This AI gaffe was perhaps the final nail in the coffin. The man who had once been so powerful, so universally adored, that his presence alone guaranteed a crowd, was now using a digital illusion to fake his relevance. It was a tragicomic conclusion to a series of public humiliations that exposed the deep insecurity and fragility that had been hidden for so long behind the perfect public image. The painful downfall of Will Smith is more than just a story of one man's mistakes. It is a cautionary tale for the modern age, a story of how a celebrity brand, built with meticulous care and a lifetime of hard work, can be undone in a single unscripted moment. The journey from the Fresh Prince to the star of a public, painful downfall is a vivid illustration of how the modern public, armed with social media and a hunger for authenticity, can dismantle even the most carefully constructed celebrity dynasties. From the public entanglement that exposed the cracks in his personal life to the slap at the Oscars that revealed a man who had lost control, Will Smith has become a symbol of fame's modern volatility. The man who once seemed to have it all has been left with a tarnished legacy, a series of public betrayals, and the enduring image of a man who lost his composure on the world's most watched stage. His story reminds us that in the age of digital exposure, the facade of perfection is the most fragile house of all.